focus on. But as you can see, my title is Planet We're Not Buried. And yeah, if you go back and watch any of my previous actual episodes on YouTube or IG, any of my lives, it's about my story, about my journey, things I've been through, where I came from, and just how it's affected me in life. And today, definitely got good people in my ear telling me you got to go live. I will be live on Wednesday at 3 and Friday at 3 again. So I'm going to be more consistent, more disciplined, just like I tell you, I'll have to be. It's the only thing that gets you anywhere in life. And after you see some of the things that I've been through in life, I definitely have a hard time sometimes staying true to me. I'm really good at preaching stuff and telling people how to become successful. I love to help other people win, but some days, me myself, I have a really hard time with consistency. I have a really hard time with just being true to me. I think it comes from some self confidence issues that I've had in the past, and just really, as you go through things, some days you don't always feel motivated, and motivation, it fades, it really does. But my story needs to get out there, and you really do need to do things. So I don't even know where I left off on my journey, but it's crazy. With my journey, I mean, I've been on this now since January of 2019. Sonia, um, it's one of those ones where any journey is going to have your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows. You just have to really sit and write what you want. What do you see? Where do you see yourself going? And so many of us, I don't care, once you become a teenager, we really stop thinking about what we want and we start thinking about what we have to do. And I think that's the hardest part with things like, as a woman, and I'm not discrediting men, like a lot of women, we're supposed to be good wives, we're supposed to be mother figures, we're supposed to do a lot of things. And now with society, they teach you that we have to carry a job and be a boss babe and do a lot. But what do you want? And like, I truly think to myself a lot of times, like, that's where I got lost. I stopped thinking about what I wanted and started just focusing on taking care of everybody else. When my dad died, I focused on taking care of my sister and my mom. And then when I moved my mom to Texas, I was already Kyle's wife, and I focused on, being a good wife and being a good daughter and taking care of my mother. Now, when my mom passed, I was trying to focus on, being a good wife. And I found out no matter how good you are to some people, some days it's not always going to get what you want. And it's not because you're a bad person, it's not because you're not amazing. You have to realize that it's on them. And like, you can't keep giving somebody more love or more of something and hope it's going to change how they treat you. And I'm a big people pleaser, always have been a huge people pleaser. And as a people pleaser, like, you always think about, well, if I do this, or I don't do this, how are people going to feel? What's going to happen? And truly, after my journey, I do personal development, everything like that. I did therapy for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, once a week, to really figure out healthy relationships, healthy communication skills, and just how to be a good version of Jill, the best version of Jill, and do it healthy, in a healthy manner, not people pleasing, have healthy boundaries. You don't know what boundaries are, guys. One of the main books that I had read was literally Boundaries by Henry McLeod. And it's such a good book. It teaches you stuff, and it has to do, there's religious parts in it, but a lot of it was like a smack in the face to me. And sometimes when things smack you in the face, you just know you need to hear it. I realized I used to give in hopes to keep people around, or to make them like me more, or this and that. And when I was reading this book, they'd say things like, if you're doing this for people, does it make you happy? because they want you to be happy. And if you're doing something for somebody just to see if they'll stay around and this and that, but you don't feel happy, you don't feel fulfilled, why are you keep doing it? Okay, so you stop doing it and the person leaves, or you and the person have to have a talk. And I'm talking business, I'm talking friendships, I'm talking relationships. It doesn't matter. Everything is truly a relationship, any aspect of relationship. If you're doing something and you do not feel fulfilled or happy through it, and that person leaves, yes, it's going to hurt. Don't get me wrong. But you weren't happy when you were doing all that stuff for them anyway. And you doing it didn't keep them, around, or didn't get them to treat you the way you wanted to be treated. So why are you going to keep doing this kind of stuff for people? And when I read that or saw that, I was like, it makes so much sense. So if you tell somebody, no, I don't want to do that, and they leave, then they're probably not your person. And you're like, but I want them to be. But okay, you keep doing stuff and like their behavior doesn't change. It doesn't get any different. It doesn't get any better. What does that have? You doing more and more and more for them, is it making you happy? It's probably not even making them happy. They're probably just using you, in all honesty. They really are. And I was like, wow. So when I sat there and like thought about all the stuff that I'd done for people, and I used to hurt my own feelings all the time because I would bend over backwards for people. I'd bend over backwards for Kyle. I would bend over backwards for friends. And then when I needed something, there was not a soul around. Not a soul. Man, I needed a ride, or my battery died on the side of the road. And like, I didn't have nobody to call. And I'm like, or they were busy, or they were this and that. And you can't expect them to drop what they're doing. People have lives. It is what it is. But you can't do stuff for people thinking that they're going to do it in return for you. If you want to do something for somebody, you have to do it purely because you want to do it. Not because you're going to say, well, later they're going to do it for you. Or later this is going to happen. Or X, Y, and Z is going to happen. You literally need to do things for people because it makes you happy. It's servitude. And now when I do things, and I still have people pleasing tendencies, and I'm still working on a lot of things in life. I'm so imperfectly perfect, and I'll just go with that. I'll never be perfect, and I don't ever strive to be perfect. I just strive every day to be 1% better than I was yesterday. I want a little bit of growth in my life, and I'm learning my emotions and how to, respond, not react to when things happen in my life and different things like that. So it's one of those ones where when I do anything in life now, if it doesn't make me happy, and if they say, hey, you want to do this? And I say no, and they get upset, they might not be my person. Like if they stop talking to me because I say, no, I can't do that. I have to work on my own stuff today, or I have something already planned, or there's stuff going on. That means that person probably isn't my person, or these people may not be my people. They're only around for what I can do for them. And I get it. I do truly understand that everything's give and take in life. But some people love to take. And then when you're like, hey, can you help me out like moving stuff? Or hey, can you help me out with this and that? They're like, oh no. And you're like, oh, okay. And you can't be mad at them because that's their decision, and everything is free will, and that's okay. Like you're allowed to say no. No is a healthy word. And the thing is, when you say no, people shouldn't question it. You do not have to explain yourself to people. That's one thing I'm still working on myself, because when I say no, I always love to over explain and be like, no, I can't because of X, Y, and Z. If I say no, you really don't, nobody is entitled to an explanation, or nobody should even really ask why you said no. No should be okay. Like if you say, no, I don't want to go there tonight, or I don't want to do that today, you should be like, oh, all right, that's cool. And when I realized that, being disciplined in life, like my daily routine, I would change for people all the time. I struggle with my schedule. Yep, I'm self-employed. Yep, I do digital entrepreneurship. So trading, e-commerce, building my brands, helping my team. But when I break my boundaries, which is my schedule, I'm so routined. I am so routined. Somebody comes in my life and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I can do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, sure, great. Or good friend Robert asks me to do something. Sure, no problem, great. And that's one of my people pleasing tendencies. I will put my life and my stuff on back burner and do it later to help other people. But then when other people don't do that for me, I hurt my own feelings. I shouldn't expect them to. If they're disciplined and they are routine enough to say, no, I'm going to the gym, or no, I'm working on my trading plan, or no, I'm working on my e-commerce store. No, I don't want to. I don't care. Just no, they just don't want to. That's fine. I cannot be upset. Just because I move my stuff around for people does not mean they're going to do it for you. And you have to trust this process. You have to be selfish at some point in times. And I'm not saying be mean, be rude, or take in that aspect. I'm talking about being like, take care of yourself. You don't take care of your stuff. How are you going to take care of anybody else or anything else in life? You cannot mentor people. You cannot pay your own bills or do your different things if you're not going to work, if you're not healthy, if you're not eating right, if you're not going to the gym. You need to take care of you first. So if people get upset when you need to take care of you and they say, oh, you're being selfish, or you're being this. No, it's self-love, guys. It's really about self-love. You can't put you on the back burner. And so many of us are raised that type of behavior is selfish. Gosh, we're not selfish with that type of behavior at all. Self-love is such an amazing thing. And I struggled with that for forever. Every time I wanted to like go and get my nails done or my hair done or buy myself new stuff, I'm like, oh, well, I should do this, or I should do that, or I should spend the money on X, Y, and Z. And you have to take care of you. And I'm not saying like your hair and your nails and stuff like that are a big priority. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But you have to be disciplined enough to be like, I deserve this. I worked hard for this. I'm going to take care of me so I can, take care of the other things I need in life. Because when we're not taking care of us, like going to the gym, working on our stores, working on our brand, what are you doing? You're helping other people, great. And I know it's about servitude, but sometimes our family or our friends will not value our time like we value our time. Time is one of your biggest assets. You have to spend that accordingly. I literally block out my schedule. And yes, today I went to the gym later. That's why I was not on here at 3. And that's, a bad excuse. Once again, it's me being transparent with you guys that I still struggle with being very disciplined with things I need to do, because I always say like, oh, I can go to the gym later, or, oh, I can do this later. And that has me up till 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, working on things that if I would have just been true to what I needed to do, would have gotten done. And this all ties into my story because I, for so long, just looked for outside validation. I looked for other people's opinions, and it made me feel amazing, to have somebody say, oh, you're good at this, or you're good at that, or you're a great wife, or you're a great insurance agent, or you're a great nurse, or you're great at this. But I was so unfulfilled on the inside. I was doing things to look for outside validation. I was doing things because I knew it would make my family happy, my parents happy, my husband happy, my friends, society. I did everything for outside reasons. When I looked around, when everything fell apart, and I was talking to people, and like people, friends, and new people that I was trying to actually like talk to, actually asked me like, what do you like to do? I had no clue, honestly, what I like to do, what made me happy, what brought joy to my heart, what made me feel fulfilled, because I used to do everything for everybody. Like people would say, you want to go river tubing? Sure, great, yeah. You want to do this? Yeah. And I was like, when was the last time like I said something I wanted to do? What did I really like to do? And like that was like, oh, that was like a real big blow to me, because I'm like, how do I not know what I actually like to do? I'm like, what really makes me happy? And from what you guys see, like I love to work out. Working out like clears my head, my brain. It just keeps me right. and then working on my stores and like trading and helping myself. I'm forever a student. I'll forever be a student. Like I love to learn. I love to read. You guys don't even know, like I'm starting a new book this month. It's going to be The Magic of Thinking Big. I'm so excited about reading that. Um, just about positivity mindset. I love to learn about myself, my emotions, how to become a better leader to help my team, how to mentor people. And when I'm doing that kind of stuff, it just makes me feel fulfilled. I don't like to waste my time. My time needs to be spent doing, I guess, very fulfilling things for me. I sat around for many years of my life, like at least 7 years. And I realized I was doing nothing for those 7 years. When everything fell apart, I'm like, what did I do for like the last 7 years? Granted, I did nursing. Yep. Okay. And I learned a new skill. I was an insurance agent and I, you know, learned a lot about policies and I got those certs and did all that kind of stuff. But I did it because it was a good job and I should do that. I was like, great. But I didn't, gosh, this is going to sound so horrible. I didn't like it. I did it because I had to, because it was money, because it was going to get me to that next level. Trading and e-commerce and being an influencer and working on my brand, like this kind of stuff, like fueled my fire. It really does. I love getting new traders in and showing them things on the charts. I love teaching people about crypto. I love talking about brands and print on demand stuff. And I could do that all day, all night. And I love hearing about people's dreams and aspirations and goals and seeing how to help people get to that next step in their life. Is it always through the platform that I have? No, it's definitely not always through the platform I have. But like at least then they know they tried. They tried something new. A lot of people come into this space that I'm in now and they don't know where they want to go, but they know they want something different. That's awesome. Because that's the first step, knowing you want something different. Like when my husband died and everything fell apart, like I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was, where I was going. That's why my YouTube channel is called Just Jill. Because God, I love being me. And I'm growing into an amazing person. I made a reel recently on it saying, people like to go visit my past and bring it up sometimes. And gosh, I know I wasn't perfect in my past. But my past taught me so many lessons. And like they weren't losses, they were lessons. And gosh, I had a lot of them for sure. But it taught me a lot. And the only time I look into my past is sometimes I have to revisit those lessons so I don't go down that same path again. I meet new people sometimes and I realize I already learned that lesson. Like, if we do that again, what's going to happen? And you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. So I have to stay true to myself. But I don't live in my past no more because when you live in your past, that's usually depression. And if you live and worry about the future, that's your anxiety. Like, I live in the now. And trust me, I'm not perfect. I have my moments. Do I have my down days? Yeah. I don't even say I have down days. I have down moments. Do I still have anxiety because of the things in the future? Of course. I'm one of my like worst critics. I hold myself very accountable. So when I don't achieve things, I am hard on myself. But at the same time, I have to eval and see why I didn't achieve things. Because we have to make a new plan then to get to that next level of that process. You can't just sit and be hard on yourself. That talk will just mess up your mindset and you can't live there. You have to look at like what are you doing right now to get you to that next goal? Or the people that you're hanging out with, are they really encouraging you to become the best version of you? Are they pushing you towards your dreams and goals? Or are they holding you back? I realized for 7 years the hand I held was the hand that held me down. And that was a real tough pill to swallow because I allowed that to happen. And for 7 years, I did everything in my power. I was like, man, if I do this better, he'll love me more. Or if I do this better, he'll treat me better. If I do more of this, I'll get this. Guys, if people are acting a certain way, it's on them usually. It's not on you. And I had such a hard time with that because I was like, it had to be something I was doing. And it was one of those ones that was so much easier to blame myself than to blame them because I loved him. When I love people and I love things, like it's so much easier to make it about me because I'm like, oh, if I fix this, this will make that better. It's not always that, guys. You have to look at the situation sometimes and really see, is this situation worth it? Is this situation or relationship healthy? What is this person, place, thing? What is it really doing for you? What are you getting out of it? That's not selfish. That's self love. At the end of the day, at the end of it all, you are your longest relationship. You are your, like becoming the best, you will attract the best things in life. As you level up, will some things have to go? Yeah, if they don't level up with you, yeah. But the thing is, are those things that are, you may lose, you know, you're going to lose sometimes good to get better or lose better to get great. You really have to make that decision. Like, if I keep doing the same thing, is this something I really want? Or do I really want that goal? And I know if I quit doing this, I'll get this goal. Sometimes quitting hanging out with people, quitting smoking, quitting drinking, quitting going to the bars, it's bad or it's rough. But gosh, that life on the other side, when you start to get there, it's amazing. Like, not drinking, not smoking, like I love who I'm becoming, like healthy wise. Like, I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but you have to be true to you. You have to trust the process. Are people going to say, man, you changed? Yeah, you changed, but you changed for the better. And they're going to pick on you and say shit like that. Oh, pardon me. They're going to say stuff like that because they're jealous a lot of time. It's envy, or they're afraid of losing you. And they know they can't level up. They know they can't go to that level because they have so much work. And that kind of work sometimes is hard. I spoke on that the other day. Like, that mental and like that mental growth when you're going through things, it's painful because you're looking at you. You can't blame mom. You can't blame dad when you hit a certain age. You have to look at you. Everything you do affects your life. And you can say, yeah, I do this because of my mom, or I do that because of my dad. But at the end of the day, you do it. Nobody else. And that's real hard. Because at the end of the day, the only one that can change that behavior to make you act right, act better, or take that next step towards that goal is you. So you have to stop using a scapegoat and say, okay, this hurts, but I'm going to stop doing this because I want that goal bad enough. I want that next level. I deserve this dream because I'm putting the work in. And the thing is, you have to really look around and say, are you putting the work in? Are you sitting down and studying the charts? Are you working on your e-commerce store? Are you talking to new people to build your brand? Are you making new connections for your YouTube, for your book, for whatever you're doing? We all have a story. And in this day and age, so many people are like, oh, my story's not important. Everybody's story is important. You want to write a book? Write it. Write it. And gosh, I'm working on that myself. I don't really know where to start, but I will. I will have a book deal by the end of the next year, the end of 2023. Love to have one going into the beginning of 2022 or 2023. But my book will be done by 2023. I'm speaking that out, and God, I'm putting that out here because it's going to happen, and I know it's going to happen. Whatever you think about becomes words, words become actions, and that becomes your reality. So take a good look around. Even do a mental assessment. Like, what do you think about daily? And nobody, I know we can all say we're positive and we're motivated and we're this. Nobody knows what goes on in your head, though. Nobody but you. Are you really as positive as you say? Are you really speaking that stuff into existence? Do you really believe it and feel it? And for the longest time, like, say I was positive, and man, I was half in, half out. Half in, half out. Because I had such negative self-talk for the longest time. I still catch myself some days. I was just saying something today, and I was like, oh, I was so dumb. Then I'm like, I wasn't dumb. I was like, I was uneducated. I didn't know any better. And don't blame yourself about things that you may have done to survive what you went through or to get you through a chapter in your life. So a lot of us are hard on ourselves because of that. You can't be hard on yourself for something you went through. All you can say is if that behavior wasn't the best behavior, okay, you're into a new chapter now. Time to change it, time to grow. Don't be hard. You needed that for that chapter. That behavior was, what got you through or what made you survive, and it may not have been the best. That's okay. Not a big deal. We live in the now. What are we doing now to become the best version of us? And I'm telling you, when I work on my positive talk, and I still do it daily, like I think things sometimes and I have to like reprogram my thoughts. Like I'll be like, man, I'll be like, that could have been executed better or that could have went differently, but it's not dumb, it's not stupid anymore. Like, and I don't even, gosh, I hate to say, like, I don't use like negative words to myself anymore, and I don't even try to think about them even when I'm giving examples here. But I used to have such horrible self-talk. Like I went to the gym and I nitpicked my body, and now I walk past the mirror and I'm like, oof, I'm a bad bitch. That's just how I am, but that's how it is because I know I am. I know I'm putting in the work. Am I perfect? No. But gosh, I'm doing so much better than I was a year, 2 years ago. My cardio, my endurance. That's what I'm working on next. That's my next goals. I love to lift. I love my Stairmaster and things like that. And that's why I'm literally sitting here in a tank top and yoga pants talking to you because I need to get better disciplined on telling my story, coming on here and being real and raw with you guys because that's what people need to hear. I know we all see the come up and we see people's positive quotes and their thoughts and this and that. But guys, the reality of it is every journey, I don't care if it's fitness or relationship, entrepreneurial, school, work, you're going to have great, big, positive leaps, quantum leaps into good things. But there's always going to be things that, we have to correct to get to that next level. And any trader on here knows what I'm talking about. You're always going to have that impulsive move and that pullback, impulsive move and pullback. But it's like a slingshot. You need that. You need that pullback to get you to that next level. As long as you, keep doing the work. You can't let that pullback stop you. Because if you pull back and you let go, okay, yeah, it might go far. But if you actually like really let it go, put that work into it, great. But you can't just drop, like with a slingshot, drop it. Yeah, it'll fall on the ground. You don't do no work or you don't do that full motion. Like you're not going to get where you want to go. There's not failure, guys. There's lessons. As long as you get up once more than that time you fell down, you're on the right path. Sometimes we have to revamp the plan. Sometimes we have to figure out, a new route. Maybe the path and journey we were on, that's not the best way. But they always say the alphabet, it's 6 letters. Great. Awesome. That's how many plans you have. And then if it doesn't work, we can go into like the Greek alphabet and other alphabets. Guys, keep going. Stay true to yourself, though. Hold yourself accountable. I don't care. Get an accountability partner. I do so much better with accountability partners. That's why I got on here today. People in my ear. So you going on YouTube? Nah. They're like, you're going to do it again. I'm like, oh, okay, I will. Because I don't always feel like it. I'm just going to be raw and real. I don't, think always my story is that important, but it is because I know what I've been through. People need to hear and where I'm going. People need to see because they need to see where coming out of the mud and actually following that plan can, get you. Like I always say, we're not buried, we're planted. If you keep going, like most of the work is done in the dark, you're not going to always have those supporters by your side. You're going to have so many naysayers in the beginning. And it's dark, it's painful. There's a lot of change and growth, and there's always pain and growth. There always is. But just being able to, at the end of the day, be like, man, I hit my goals for today. It's amazing. I don't care if that's because you added however many more followers. You worked your job and you went to the gym. God, celebrate it. Celebrate the little wins in life. You deserve it. You really do. You were working on a new degree or a new skill set and you took time, an hour or two to learn that today, just to put some time in to study the charts, to work on a store, to figure out your brand. I don't care if you were talking to somebody on Fiverr, developing, your website or this and that. Celebrate it. It's a step in the right direction. Nothing amazing happens overnight. And so many of us think, oh my God, this is overnight. This is overnight. No, that's not how it goes. The thing is, all great success stories took years. I don't care if you're 21, I don't care if you're 18, 25, 30. It's never too late to start. I saw like stories about women that wanted to be actresses their whole life, and they were like 80 and got like a commercial deal or appeared in a show. They became like an actual actress at 80. And I'm like, that's so awesome. That is absolutely so awesome. And truly, when you find things like that and you hear stories like that, it makes me so happy because people, no matter what, are always working at their goals, at their dreams. Sorry, I do actually have people on the YouTube. That's odd. Anyway, and they're commenting in there. But I stay true to your dreams, stay true to your goals. One little move every day, 1%, just 1% better will truly really add up in the long run. Just think about how much you can achieve over a year working at your goals daily. I don't care, 1 hour a day. All of us on here, and yes, I know I'm on IG Live right now. We spend more than an hour a day on social media. And I'm so over excuses because I used to be the queen of excuses. I was tired. I was no time, no money, no this, no that. I had every excuse under the sun, and I had no results also. So my excuses got me a whole bunch of nothing. Once I started to kill my excuses, book my time better, I found out, wow, I was spending probably 5 hours a day on social media, which was rough. And I was like, I definitely could be putting that into something else. And that was just aimlessly scrolling. I was definitely consuming, not producing anything at all at that point. I wasn't even posting pictures. But even if you're brainstorming, you're writing your book, spend a half hour writing. Just write what comes to your mind. Don't overthink it, write it. You want to be an actress? Start looking up how to become an actress, what things to do, model, singer, anything. You want to be a content creator? Post your content. Somebody wants to see it. If you've ever gone on TikTok and see some of this silly stuff, gosh, and these people have thousands and millions of followers, post it. Be you. Trust the process. Don't give up because somebody says, oh, your stuff's dumb, or oh, you can't speak, or oh, you don't have the best grammar and you're going to be up there speaking. You're not wrong. But you know what? I've taken the time on my day to actually get up here and talk to you guys because I know seeing me, where I came from, what I've been through, hopefully will get one person to start their YouTube channel, start their brand, follow their dreams and their goals. That's my goal. Don't listen to what people said. And if they said it to you, and like sometimes you hear those thoughts, like maybe it was even in high school, they said to you, oh, you can't do that, or you're going to do that. And they were picking on you, or kick those thoughts out of your head. Pretend like you're taking that thought into a little box, throw it into a river and let it go. Wash it away. Like let it wash away. Truly. Those thoughts are not serving you. Chuck them. Get rid of them. Guys, those people's thoughts aren't paying your bills. They ain't making you happy. So why are you letting them live in your head? The process and the journey isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows and butterflies. I get it. But it is enjoyable. Anyway, guys, I have a meeting here in a little bit. I know I only got on for about a half hour today, but thank you for hopping on. Thank you for the follows. I'm going to drop my YouTube channel. It is Just Jill. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, show me some love. But I love all the support from everybody. I'm definitely so thankful and grateful for everybody that hopped on today. And guys, like I said, make sure what you're doing makes you happy at the end of the day. Because I know how many of us do stuff for other people just because we feel like we should or we have to. Make sure what you're doing is making you happy. Because at the end of the day, most people, that's their goal. I know a lot of us are people pleasers and we're servant and things like that. But make sure you take care of you. Because, guys, you're your longest relationship. And at the end of the day, you go to bed with your thoughts, with your achievement, with your goals. Make sure to celebrate the ones that you did. Don't be hard on yourself. If you forgot to do X, Y, and Z or you didn't get to it, it happens. Celebrate the little wins, what you did do. Clap for yourself if you got to the gym, if you meal prepped, if you created some content. Don't nitpick on the bad stuff. Let's celebrate the little wins, guys. Anyway, I love y'all, and I hope you guys have a phenomenal start to your week, and I'll see you on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.